topic now, that is the ledger set. Now what is ledger set? I already told about the ledger set. Ledger set is required to group your number of ledgers together, but you can do that only if you have same chart of accounts and calendar for that particular ledgers. So suppose you have 3 ledgers. For all those 3 ledgers you have same chart of accounts and same calendar. So you can group those ledgers together and create a ledger set. But where this ledger set is used and why it is required to create a ledger set, it is a new feature in R12, and the importance for it is like you can assign a ledger set using data access set. You can assign a ledger set to a particular responsibility. Then your responsibility will get access to multiple ledgers. You can enter data into multiple ledgers. In the journal screen you can get the ledger name and you can choose the ledger from there, or you can open periods simultaneously. Like you have to go to open and close period. Over there you have to open the period one by one for each ledger. If you have assigned a ledger set, you can open periods simultaneously, and you can translate balances simultaneously, or run, if you have some recurring journals, you can update them for multiple ledgers together. You can do revaluation for multiple ledgers, and you can do reporting using your FSG reporting I talked about. You can use a ledger set. Instead of creating the FSG for a ledger, you can use multiple ledgers and you can pick up data from ledger sets from multiple ledgers, and you can create reports using these ledger sets, or you can perform inquiries and all those things. So I'll go to the system. It is setup, financials, and over here in financials you will find this ledger sets. So over here I'll press Control F11. So over here you can see there are a lot of ledger sets that are there. So you can define your own ledger set, and if any ledger, all the ledgers which are having same chart of accounts and same calendar can be attached to this ledger set. Only what you have to do is, if I click on new over here and if I select A2F ledger set over here, you can select any chart of accounts over here, and then you have to select a calendar over here, or if you want any default ledger, then you can select over here the default ledger, or else you have to give a short name as well. It is saying a ledger set already exists with this particular name. So over here you have to assign your ledger, what ledger you want to assign it. So all those ledgers and ledger sets that are appearing in the system, you can use and assign it over here. Yeah.
When we create our primary ledger with the A2F in previous class, and I think when we click on complete ledger, then the system automatically create a ledger set with the same name.
No, it creates a data access set for that.
It's a data access set.
Right. So over here you will be assigning the whatever the ledgers are there for this particular chart of accounts, you can see, and with this particular calendar, whatever the ledgers are there in the system, you can use from here, like your Vision Operations USA and whatever it is, or any other Vision Netherlands and all these things, you can assign the ledger sets. And then you have a concept of data access sets over here. This is the next topic. So once you create
what is the use of like this ledger set we have defined?
Yeah, just now I told you, using ledger set you can assign multiple ledgers to a responsibility, and using that, like you can open and close periods simultaneously for number of ledgers, or you can define FSG reports. Instead of selecting a ledger in your particular row set, you can select a ledger set, and you can select You can do reporting for multiple ledgers simultaneously, or you can define recurring journals simultaneously using a ledger set. So you can use these ledger sets in some of the screens where you have to select the ledger. Ledger sets are also available. So using these ledger sets, you can do that. And when we create our data access sets, in our data access sets, we can assign this ledger set, and there is a profile options called as GL data access set. When we assign that GL data access set profile option to one of our responsibilities, then that responsibility gets access to multiple ledgers at the same time. Like using our MO security profile option, we can assign this to our like we can assign multiple operating units in a single responsibility. So using this GL data access set profile option, we can assign multiple ledgers to a particular responsibility. Then this data access set, it is not only used for assigning the ledgers to a particular responsibility, it is also used for some security purpose. Now what is this security is, say suppose your access level is, say suppose for you have three legal entities or three balancing segment values in one ledger. Now what I want is, I want for a particular responsibility, or for 01 company, I want read only access for some users, and for 02 and 03 they can read and write both. That means they can do entries in those legal entities, but for 01 legal entity or company, they cannot perform any transactions. They can only do read the transaction, or they can only perform the inquiries for that. They cannot enter any data into it. So using data access set, what we can do is we can give a restricted access in the ledger. Though you are in the same ledger, these balancing segment belongs to the same ledger, and you are in the GL responsibility, you have the you have that particular ledger in your GL responsibility. So using this data access set, what I can do is I can give a restricted access to a particular balancing segment value. Now you may ask, like using security rules also you can do this, but security rules will just hide the values while doing the data entry. This data access set will give in security when you run reports, account inquiries, all the places. So it is different from that, and it is a new concept in your R12. So either you can do it for balancing segment values, you can give a restricted access. So I will go to the system and I will press Ctrl F11 over here. And over here you can see there is a A2F data access set already created in the system. So once you define your ledger, all your data access set is automatically created in the system. So whatever it is there, whatever the ledger that you create, a data access set is automatically created in the system. Only it is not updatable. So if you create a reporting currency also, then also your, as you can see over here, A2F ledger is there. This A2F ledger we had created, A2F chart of accounts, A2F calendar, and A2F 13 periods. So you can see this ledger, this data access set is automatically been created in the system, but you cannot update this. This is not updatable. The data access sets which are automatically created are not updatable. So if you want to create a data access set, then you have to create another data access set which you can means you can give restricted access to. This is the ledger set that we had created. Automatically this data access set is created over here. So if you create any reporting currencies or anything, then automatically it is added to your this data access set. So I'm just searching for vision operations data access set, so I can show you if you have any reporting currencies that also get added to your data access sets. So you can see over here, this is vision operations ledger USA. Over there I had shown you yesterday they had multiple reporting currencies like your GBP, INR, Canadian dollars. So it automatically gets added to your data access set, and automatically your data access set is created, but it is not updatable. If you want, you can create a new data access set. So I'll just click on new over here, and in this data access set I will create another data access set. And then only thing is your chart of accounts and calendar has to be same for that for those particular ledgers. So I am going to select operations accounting flex. The reason is I'm not selecting A2F COA is because multiple ledgers are not defined using A2F COA. So I'm selecting operations accounting flex and calendar as accounting monthly. And then over here, you can select the ledger names. Your whatever ledger names you are having over here, ledger or ledger names or ledger sets also appear over here. Over here you can see this access set type as full ledger. If you want to give the access to full ledger and you have defined a ledger set over here, you can select that particular ledger set over here. See, you have so many ledger sets over here. So whatever the ledgers are there in this ledger set, you can assign those accesses over here and you can give the privilege for that, whether it is read only and read and write. If you give only read only privilege in and you assign it to a particular responsibility, in that responsibility you will be having access to all those ledger which are there in this particular ledger set that I have selected over here. It may be having 3 to 4 ledger or whatever the ledgers you have assigned to this ledger set, or you can have multiple ledgers assigned over here. You can assign multiple ledgers over here and you can give either read only access or read and write access. Or what you can do is, instead of this, I can select over here balancing segment value. I have to select a ledger over here. I'll select anything. I'll select Vision Operations USA over here and I can select balancing segment value over here, and then there is a checkbox over here which is saying as all. If I disable this particular checkbox, then I can select of what balancing segment values I can give access to. So suppose I want to give access to 01 with only read only access, and in the same ledger I have to give access for 02 with read and write access. So using this data access set, I can give that. So in the they will be there in the same particular ledger, but still they cannot perform any transactions for 01 legal entity or 01 balancing segment value, since they have this read only access. They cannot perform any transactions for that. Or there is another option over here which is saying as management segment value. So the chart of accounts you have selected does not have any management segment. So in order to use this management segment value, what you have to do is, in the flex field qualifier, you have to define a management segment value first. Unless and until you define a management segment, you cannot use it over here. So the sole purpose of using a management segment is to give a restricted access. So you can define any of the segments as management segment. Say your department segment, cost center segment, project segment, any of the segment, if you want to give restricted access for that. But your company segment, natural account segment and intercompany segment cannot be a management segment. Except for these three segments, your balancing segment, what is your company segment, your intercompany segment and your natural account segment. Apart from these three segments, any other segment can be your management segment. And you can, if you have defined the management segment for those particular ledgers that you select over here, like we are doing for balancing segment values, we are selecting the values over here. Say similarly, you can do it for management segments as well. Anyone, any doubt in this?
I think like when we save our primary ledger, the concurrent program runs and they themselves create a data access set.
Right.
Like when I am doing it last time, my concurrent manager does not create a program, or I don't know why. So I have to go manually to do this data access set. Like it's fine to doing it manually. Sometimes the concurrent program does not run.
No. It is created automatically. It will always create automatically. And that is not updatable also. You cannot update it. Once it is created automatically, you cannot update that also. If I go over here, data access sets, and if I select A2F ledger or anything, this A2F secondary ledger we had just defined it, this is not updatable. You cannot update anything over here. So it is not updatable. It is created automatically by the system.
Yeah, but when last time I am saving my ledger, I get a error. But when I again go to the accounting manager screen, the checkbox is ticked for like it's not updatable. But when I'm going to open my calendar in AP, they are giving me a error for data access set. So I have searched on a net and then go there. Like I've searched, the error is saying that I have doesn't define any data access set, that so I am not able to open it or something like that. Then I have defined it manually.
No, but usually it doesn't happen. I don't know, maybe it is not created because of some bug in the system.
Yeah, the error is I have an error for that.
Yeah, maybe because of some error it is not created automatically, but usually it is created. It doesn't happen all the time. Maybe for some error it did not create it, but it will not happen all the time. So it is created automatically. And then you can go to system administrator, profiles, system, and you can select the responsibility name. You have to be particular in this putting this profile options, because this is case sensitive. So if you put, say suppose for A is small, and if I put a capital A, then it will not search for anything. Now I think they have changed it in 12.2, but in 11. In 1.3 or earlier versions where I was working, this does not used to work if it was case sensitive. Maybe this is 12.2, so it is working over here. I think this also they have improved in 12.2, but in earlier versions it was case sensitive. So over here you can see this particular data access set, Vision Operations USA, has been assigned to this responsibility. So whatever the data access set you have created, or it is there in the system, A2AF, all whatever the data access set that you have created, or anything, you can assign it. So in that data access set, if you have assigned the ledger sets, so you can assign multiple ledgers to a single responsibility using this data access set.